Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be another bi-weekly roll-up from 2020. So let's just jump into the week. So I started the week off with some Gripito work. The Gripito is a tool that I've been reviewing for the past couple weeks. I did a video review, you can find that if you click up here. I like the product overall, and I really started with the shoulder rotations. It feels really good, especially post-surgery. It feels nice to be able to rotate my shoulder in that way, but also work grip. What I've been finding is that with the ball version of the Gripito, the original, that my shoulder on my right side is what ends up being the limiting factor. And on my left shoulder, it's actually my hand. So when I'm using my left arm, I'm actually getting a lot of grip. But it's still nice to use. You can use it both for doing like shoulder external, internal rotations. You can also use it for these kind of wind them up type exercises towards you. A lot of versatility to the Gripito. Please go watch my review if you haven't seen it yet. And some awesome faces to go with it. One of the things that I noticed when I was using the Gripito was that there's a whole bunch of unloading when you're using a band. There's also these deadlifts, which were a little bit frustrating actually. I was surprised how difficult it was to do a short deadlift with these things. But again, great tool. Super excited that I have the hub version and the original version, and you'll see the hub version a little bit later. Later that day, I decided to go for a post-surgery PR on overhead press. You're looking at the Rogue changeable plates for the dumbbells. Can't exactly remember what they're called, but they work great on the end of this PVC pipe, and this is actually kind of difficult to do, trying to keep everything straight. And then we just roll into some of the physical therapy for the week. These are the bow and arrow type exercises. There's also a punch one. It's kind of the opposing muscle group for this movement. You can see those here. And it's nice to be able to have some weight on an arm that I'm able to move up and down. It's just nice to be able to move weight. The hard part about this is when you get to the very top of the movement is actually extending your scapula like all the way out. I remember in physical therapy, I get a whole lot of like further. You think you're all the way, but you're not. So during the first week of the collection of training footage, had some good belt squat nights. This is a great belt squat night right here. I was really happy with my performance. Zero complaints at all. Just felt great. I just kept going up and up and up. I actually just wanted to see how high I could end up going. I don't remember the exact weight that I got to, but I remember thinking that I was pretty happy with it. The last one looked a little bit ugly, but you know, it was all about having fun. This road to recovery, sometimes it just feels like a road to nowhere. So every once in a while, it's nice to just throw some heavy weight on the belt squat and just have at it. And here you see the top set. I'm pretty sure this is my top set of that night of a single and a lot of weight. After that, I did these lunges. I had to work up to the weight on these lunges. Trying to figure out how to do reverse lunges was, for whatever reason, a mystery to me with the belt squat, but I ended up watching a couple J squat videos. Sornex has some J squat videos, and it made a lot of sense after watching those. After that, I moved on to some safety squat bar squats. This is my top set of the night. This is, I don't exactly know the weight. I probably should know the weight, but I don't know the weight. After that, moved on to some good mornings, really focusing on vertical shins, trying to keep a flat back, you know, getting back to the basics. That's the whole point of this road to recovery. And then last but not least, finished with some 3x3 pinch blocks, just for some extra grip work for the evening. The pinch blocks rather, these are a lot of fun. I enjoy using them. I have the 2x3 version and the 3x3 version. I really thought there'd be a big difference, so I hit a top set with the 3x3, and I was like, well, I'll just drop down real quick, throw the 2x3 on and see if I can lift more. As it turns out, I actually can't lift that much more with the 2x3 pinch block versus the 3x3. I'm planning on doing a review though. I want to compare the Rogue pinch blocks to like a homemade version out of 2x4s. So what you saw there was my external rotations with my little baby circus dumbbell made by Texas Power Concepts. He made it for my daughter. And then these banded ski pull away type things. And again, if you watch, trying to get full rotation, full scapular retraction and protraction, I guess. These feel good, these are fun. And then these push-ups These push-ups, all they are, I know it just looks like I'm doing like a shrug, but I'm just extending up at the top as hard as I can so that I get as much scapular protraction and then retract it and come down. And more of the punching. The punching is actually really easy. I have a more difficult time with external type movements. So if I'm moving my hand away from center, I have a difficult time with external rotation movements like this archery one that you see here. But the whole point, again, is to make sure that I keep my scapular region all super flexed up and jacked, trying to build up those small muscle groups. And this is me dumping water on my head. That's what I'm supposed to imagine that I'm doing. These are so incredibly difficult to do for me. And again, I'm coming off of a partial bicep repair, labral tear repair, and some rotator cuff damage. And to be able to do body weight style TRX movements is something that I really didn't think I would be at already, but a lot of the row type movements I've really got down. Lastly, just again, working on some review footage for the Gripito. I hit some Gripito rotations. So new day, new shirt. Decided to go tank top even though it was way too cold, and hitting some squats. And this was just kind of another fun, kind of heavy-ish night. I wasn't able to go quite as heavy as I did before, but it was still really cool to, you know, have more than 2 plates on the side of the SSB and have it move as easy as it did. I think this is me going up. This should be my top set of the night. And again, this is 2 plates plus a 35, so we're sitting right at like 200, I'm sorry. So 60, 150, 240, 310. So about 310 pounds. And it just moved nice. It just felt good. Like I've been kind of chicken to actually go up in weight too much, but these felt really nice. Afterwards, I did this back off set, and it wasn't an AMRAP. I stopped myself at like 10, but it was going real easy. And this is just 240 pounds just for an AMRAP. After that, I finished up my TRX from the previous night, and here I am. These are like TRX overhead presses, and what you're seeing is I'm really trying to keep my hands pushing away from the anchor point. So I'm like pulling away from the anchor point as I go overhead. These are hard. These are so hard to do. They really are. Now these ones where I face away from the anchor point, way easier to do, and they feel good, especially if you kind of alternate between the facing the anchor point and then facing away from the anchor point. It allows you to get a really good lift in, but also not feel so bad about yourself. And then of course, rows. Rows are going great. These feel good. I'm really trying to release my scapula all the way, pull my scapula first. So then what we got here is another SSB night. This SSB night, it was garbage. It kind of sucked that it was garbage, but it just is what it is. You see I'm really struggling, and I'm struggling at a weight that the previous week I was doing it 50 pounds heavier and knocking out sets of 5 like it was not a big deal. So what I ended up doing is I loaded it up as high as I could load it up, so it was like 870 pounds. That doesn't include the weight of the implement or the arm or anything, just in plates. And just did a march, and here's a 30-second march at that. This is so awesome, so tough. If you've never done a belt squat march, you should try it. It's pretty difficult to do. Trying to just keep your feet moving up on a rhythmic pace is taxing on your body. And then this is the last Saturday of the video. This is my last session of the video. And this is Strongman Saturday, so this is about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we decided to go into this every minute on the minute, 3 squats, and then I believe my training partner was doing 2 to 3 overhead presses. I think he was doing 2. And we just did this for 10 minutes, every minute on the minute. I really thought I was going to be hurting a lot more. I've been waking up with kind of a sore back a lot. It's not really anything related to SSB squatting. I'm theorizing this because it was a problem I had prior to actually back squatting again. I think it's just my bed and how I'm sleeping. I wake up a lot at night. And then we got some heavy sled drags. So that's about halfway through the day on the sled drags. For whatever reason, I got a hankering to go super heavy. And so I did this pull right here. This one is right at 300 pounds loaded on the sled, which is about 420 pounds getting pulled. And what I'm doing is I'm just hanging onto my hands to keep it locked into position using my hands. That way my shoulder doesn't really take the beating. Then I'd reach down when I got to the end, flip the strap around, and I would drag it back. Now I did this for all the way from 200 to 300 pound loads. And then you're about to see the top clip from my heaviest pull of the day, which was a 400 pound load. And I'm just using 5 pound change plates to space apart the 45s. It makes it a little bit easier to unload, plus it looks cooler, so why not do it? But these are, again, heavy sled pulls. Heavy sled pulls are heavy sled pulls. I don't think anybody out there is going to question the amount of effort it takes to actually do a heavy sled pull. But here's 400 pounds. 400 pounds moved really well. I was really happy with getting it going. This is the most I've done post-surgery. Probably one of the heaviest pulls I've done ever. I've never really focused on pulls before, but it went well. At first I was having a hard time getting the weight moving, but once the weight was moving, I really had no issues just rolling straight through. And I only pulled it one way, so I will say that. So I just went 50 feet down, and when it came time for the turnaround, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's we're gonna call that good. Finally, I finished off with these Gruppetto deadlifts. This is the Gruppetto hub that you're looking at here, and a lot less weight that you're able to do with the hub. If you've never used a hub before, so Ironmind makes a hub. The Gruppetto hub is slightly bigger than the Ironmind hub. Thinking about doing a review just on the Gruppetto hub. It'd be a lot shorter than my original Gruppetto review. If you think I should do that, go ahead and comment down below. So for everybody else that made it this far in the video, hey, I really appreciate you guys tuning in every single week. I appreciate you being here. If you like this video, please subscribe. Please watch some of my other training footage. And until then, I will see you on the next review or next training footage.